major types of analysis. One is known as a qualitative analysis and one is known as a quantitative analysis. Okay. So first, wherever quantitative analysis is written, you can just write there 10-pointer theory. Right now you will not understand anything. Just write it down right now. Here, quantitative analysis. Just write down 10-pointer theory. Those who have done my fundamental analysis 1.0, there was an 8-pointer theory, and now we are going to do a 10-pointer theory. Okay, to come up subsequently. As of now, we have to do qualitative analysis only. Okay. So qualitative analysis is nothing but based on again what internal and external factors. So what we will do is we'll take an example. One company example we'll take. Yes. So what you can do is write down the example of DMart. You can give the example. Example DMart. You can write it in your notebook or there also you have some space. Space is yours. DMart. Okay. So let's go ahead one by one. If I want to do a quantitative analysis of DMart, there can be 5 points that you can check. You go one by one. Okay, 5 points. So like we have a 10-pointer analysis for quantitative, we are going to do a 5-pointer analysis for qualitative. Okay, any company that you want to discuss or any company that you want to analyze, try and see whether you get answers for these 5 points at least. Okay, so right now the very first one for qualitative is product and its demand. Product and its demand. Okay, who can tell me what does demand do? No, you have answered a lot of points. Others. Anyone knows? Groceries, it sells groceries? Only groceries? No, everything. Merchandise, groceries. In simple words, can I say it's like a supermarket? Everyone has at least heard or has been to DMart, right? So if I'm talking about the product and demand, so what is their product? First thing, whenever we are doing qualitative analysis, first question you have to ask yourself is, do I understand what does the company do? If I don't understand the company, please don't invest. Simple. Whenever we are doing fundamental analysis, you have to understand the base product of the company. Okay, so if I talk about another example, alkyl amines, specialty chemicals. And what exactly specialty chemicals? Chemicals which are used for pharmaceutical purposes. Okay, fertilizers. Okay, but how many? Now you just raise your hands. How many of you knew about DMart? Everyone. How many of you knew about alkyl amines? Maybe half. Because of my video. Because of the stock of the month. Very nice. So now understand, the main point here is that if you don't know what does the company do, can I say this is the first point of filter. If you don't understand, don't invest. Step number 1 is understand what does the company do. If I believe, oh, they have a good product, they have some good standing in the market, then I should do further analysis. Okay, so for DMart, first point if you have written product and its demand, dash. First point we are doing right now, product and its demand, dash. What will you write? What is the product? Can I say it's a supermarket chain? Yes, can I write down supermarket chain? And what about demand? Do you feel there's a demand for their products? If you've been to DMart, it's a pain to stand in that billing line. So there are many families who go strategically. One person is going in this section, second one is going in that, third one is at the billing counter. See the parking anytime whenever you go to DMart. It's always overflowing. So can I say good demand is there for that product? Or whatever products are being sold off? Yes. So you can write down good demand. The supermarket is about what is the product, and for demand, you see it's a good demand. Recurring demand, very nice. It's not about one time use. Every single month you want to go there. Recurring demand. Okay. Write down the second one, future. Yes. Demand is not for the product. Demand is for the discount. Now, no, wait. Discount, can people go there, right? Now, who can tell me a technical word for that? Discount is why people are going there. We just discussed this word right now. Moat. Discount is their moat. Discount is their competitive advantage. Was more able to do that? Not really. Not really. And there was one more supermarket chain competitor, Big Bazaar. They were not able to do that well, but DMart did it. So people, of course, it's not even Indian mentality. I think it's a mentality all over the world. The moment you want to get discount, people are going to die for that. You can imagine that discounts fade away from DMart. Will you go there? Absolutely not. Exactly. It's the consistent discount which drives the consistent demand. And that is exactly the moat. Are you getting my point? Correct? At some point in time, it does become a habit. So, just as an example, assume last month you got 22% and this month you got 21% discount. As an example. Next month will you be like, gee, I got 1% less and I'm not going to go there. That will not happen. Why? You're used to DMart now. So, somewhere 1%, 2%, they'll properly manage it. Okay? So, I hope you have understood this. So, demand, there you can, so we had another point. After future market, the third point was competitive advantage. More to apne pehle bata diya. Okay, no worries. So, tell me about future market. Do you think that this category will have a sustainable demand? 100%. Achha, are they also tweaking their policies? So, for example, I'm sure you might have heard about DMart Ready. What about that? Seen that? DMart Ready. So, what happens in DMart Ready, if you can tell me? Absolutely. You order it online, you get the same discount that you get when you go to the shop, to the shopping mall, or to the supermarket, sorry, and then you pick it up from a small store. So for me, let us say, the DMart store is like 10 kilometers away. I might be like, kaun sa hai itna dur? Instead of that, what do I do? I order it online, but DMart Ready stores are very much within the city. It's very 1 kilometer away from my place. So have they even taken care of that aspect as well? Very much. Achha, if you pay 80 or 100 rupees extra, they'll deliver at home also. Okay, I did not know about that. 80 rupees delivery charges versus the discount. Still, discount is better as compared to 80 rupees. Absolutely, yes, why not? So, can I say, they're very well taking care of whatever is the current demand, what people are wanting. And can I say, do they have a future market as well? Absolutely. So for future market, can I say, future will be good if there is good customer retention. Is there a customer retention for demand? Absolutely, yes. Okay, so here you can write down customer retention and sustainable demand. Customer retention and sustainable demand. Third point you already told. Competitive advantage. Competitive advantage. Into bracket, what was the word that we learned today? Moat. What is the competitive advantage of moat they have? Discounts. Any idea of how are they able to give a lot of discount to their customers? They buy in bulk, and when they buy in bulk, they'll be getting it at a heavy discount. Some discount they pass on to the customers. Number 1. Number 2, very interesting way. DMart charges money for certain racks. I'll tell you what is that. So whenever you go into a shopping mall, okay, 2 racks are hot favorite racks. One rack which is at the eye level. Okay, so these eye level racks can be throughout the supermarket. One is at the lower level, near our feet. Can I say visibility there is lower? The top rack also visibility is lower. Highest rack visibility is the mid rack. And then they will say, if you want to place your product at the mid rack, at the beginning of the mart, you have to pay XYZ rupees. You have to pay this much rupees. Once they collect this much rupees, from that also they are passing some discount to us. Very smart strategy. One more way of positioning the product at the billing counter. If you say billing counters, you typically will have 1 or 2 lakhs. And have you ever observed these are the products where kids will be more interested? Because they'll get bored in the line. And what is the next best thing that they can do? Buy a chocolate pie. Right? So they'll start crying, they'll start saying, I want this, I want that. And parents will be like, shh, shut up. We'll buy you something. Can I say that is also where the company is going to earn? These are items where highest profit margin is there for such entities, right? Impulsive buying. I want it. Full stop. No discussion. Okay. True. Absolutely. So she says they are not doing mix and match every single time. Customer experience is also equally important. If from this huge building, I want only 5-6 products. Every single month I want these 5-6 products. I know, go to the second floor, right side, pick up from this rack. I'm done. So customer experience is also equally important, right? So have you understood this competitive advantage point? Discount. And how do they give discounts? 2 major points. 1, bulk buying, and second, product positioning. Second one was product positioning. Fourth point, very important point. So we were going to talk about that, but chalo, abhi baat kar lete. Does DMart have their own product? Yes. I forgot the brand, Premia or something. So they also make their own products. So now you can imagine they're making brooms, as an example. Now no one knows which broom is branded. There are no specific brands in brooms, correct? But then what will they do? They'll take an advantage here. The lowest price broom will be theirs. And the best positioning will be for that broom. Is it an essential? Are people going to buy after every few months? Yes. So certain products where demand is good and where there is no specific market leader, they will surely enter into that, they'll make it, they'll sell it. They have their own loose sugar, they have their own grains. And will that be comparatively cheaper? Yes. And apparently the quality is also decent enough is what I have heard. I've never used, but I've heard that the quality is decent enough. I think I should charge DMart something for doing so much advertisement for them here. Okay. So I hope you have understood this point as well. All these points will that come in moat only? Yes, they are manufacturing their own products wherein the profit margin is higher. For other products, they are going to earn only commission. Or they learn only that buying price minus selling price difference. Here they are manufacturing it, so manufacturing cost is comparatively going to be lower. Correct? So having their own products, if you want to add up in the competitive advantage or the moat thing. Okay. So they are spending on the right things is what you want to say, not spending on the overall aesthetics. But like we said, what do we want? We don't want that there should be a nice false ceiling, there should be nice lights. Discount robust is what it should be clean. It should be clean and every discounts we're done. We're going to go there every single time, right? So he's saying it's not spending on unnecessary things, absolutely. They own the property. Can I say that is also a very big moat? If I'm talking about more, or if I'm talking about future retailing, Big Bazaar, all these stores are operating on rental properties. And you know typically what happens? The owners are very shrewd. Owners will be like, acha, they're earning a lot, or what? Let me increase the rent by 50%. This typically happens in many companies. Now can I say, if there's a huge jump in the rental, is the profitability going to drop like anything? Yes. DMart says we'll grow at a slower pace if need be, but we will own every single property and then we will grow. So that is one more very big moat that they have as compared to their competitors. Very nice. Okay, can we move on? Fourth point if you want to write down competitors. We have discussed this, but if you can just write down competitors. Peers, absolutely. So here the technical word if you want to write down peers, P-E-E-R-S, peers, competitors. Wow. It shows how I am not going for shopping for my house. Okay, but she's saying one more interesting point. That earlier DMart used to have even perishable products like fruits and vegetables. They stopped that. Maybe they found that they're incurring losses in that. They stopped. Now can this point come in moat? Or can this point come in management efficiency? Are you with me? Yes, this will come under management efficiency. So, fifth point, but anyways. Fourth point if you want to write down competitors, which two competitors or peers did we talk about? More and Big Bazaar. Can I just write down more, Big Bazaar? But what edge do they have over their competitors? That is nothing but moat. All these points that we discussed. Edge over competitors means what? Again, technical word. You'll see people talking about in the news. This entity has a big edge over its peers. Advantage over the peer. They're better than their peers in this way. Is nothing but having edge over some other entity. Okay? Yes, why not? Star has many competitors. Okay, so Reliance Smart. Reliance Smart, Reliance Smart is also a competitor. Why not? Okay. Last point is management. So management, for that we talk about 2 points if you remember. What 2 points did we talk about in management? Competence and integrity, that is honesty. So for competence, can I say I can write that point that they quickly shifted from moving away from perishable items. Can I say that is nothing but competency of the management? Absolutely yes. You know who is the main key person of DMart? Mr. Radhakishan Damani. And he is said to be the guru of Mr. Rakesh Junjunwala. You are going to be my next guru. Huh? I'm so happy to see a 12-year-old boy in the FA class and answering so much. Which standard are you in? Went into 7th standard, big boy. I say, deserve a round of applause. His voice is very patli hai, and he's answering Radha Kishan Damani and Rakesh Junjunwala. Very nice, very happy, and I should also congratulate your parents for sending you here. Yes, nice. Okay, so Radha Kishan Damani was the one who came up with the idea of DMart. And just to give you a 1 or 2 liner introduction, what he did was he tried to understand the pain point of supermarkets in India at that time. So he went to USA. He studied how Walmart works. Walmart is one of the famous supermarket chains in US. Then he tried to understand what is that formula that they are using and which is attracting a lot of Americans. And there also was the same answer: heavy discounts. So you have to give heavy discounts. There's no choice. And let it be a family experience. Like in Walmart, typically, if you know, they're far away from the city. And even I'm sure everyone's at least one relative is there in the United States right now. And they'll always tell you today we are going for shopping. So they'll go out for a drive. Their entire car will be filled up with all the groceries and whatever monthly material. They'll enjoy food there and they'll come back. So it's like a picnic for going for shopping. Do you think this is there in India? We'll say, itna time hai kiske paas hai? Shopping done. We have 20 things on the list. One of them is shopping. So that is why if you see DMart stores, even if they're a little bit away from the heart of the city, they're not far off. Very much much within limits there. And these days, because they're opening more and more stores, they're coming more and more closer to our households. So I think he played it very smart. He found out what are the positives, what are the negatives, what will work here, what might not work here, and he tried to bring in that model and did it pretty successfully. So that was the last point. That was about the management. Have you understood how qualitative analysis can be done here? Acha, for all these 5 points, do you need to be from a commerce background? Yes or no? Commerce background, CA background, any specialized MBA, finance, this, that. Is this logic? Is this common sense? And first step of fundamental analysis is always qualitative analysis. Quantitative comes second. If the product is not good, if the management is not good, if there are heavy competitors, if they don't have any motive, why should I even check the financials? Correct? So that is what you have to understand. I'm sure everyone has gotten that basic confidence about qualitative analysis. Hawkins cooker. Branding again. Very, very amazing example again. Hawkins cooker. So all those who have been born in 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s? 80s and 90s. Hawkins ki City Bhaji. Or was something which was just drilled into our minds. Hawkins ki City Bhaji, Hawkins is equal to cooker. So all these are examples of what? Qualitative analysis. Correct? Shall I give you a quick class work right now? So that you also think about it and give me examples? Yes? So if you know the answer, you can write down. If you don't know the answer, it's okay. No worries. You can Google if you want. Write down one more qualitative analysis example. By the way, those who have attended basics of stock market and FA, if you have observed this, there is a little bit change in the teaching pattern also. We are doing a lot of writing and we are doing a lot of case study kind of things. Because DOSM is pretty, as the word is, it's the basics of stock market. I can just go on teaching and I can give you loads of examples. This is fundamental analysis. If you don't do analysis on your own, this batch will be a waste. So every single time I'm going to teach you something and I'm going to ask you to do the analysis. Should that be fine? Yes? Okay, you also have first-hand experience. Okay, so write down first one for qualitative analysis. What was the first point you want to tell me? Product and demand. Product and demand. So what you can do is, whatever company you know the product of that company, and you feel that the demand is good, write one name. I'm waiting for 2 minutes for everything. Any one company listed on stock exchange, has to be on the stock exchange. So done? Yes? Anyone who has not answered? Anyone who has not answered wants to give? You have answered now. You have written one name? The girl, yes, you. You have written. If you can tell me the name. Tata Motors, okay. What was that? Astro Limited, okay. Any other name? ITC, who's that ITC? Favorite? No, those are but pretty light, okay. HUL, okay. Anyone at the back? Nestle. What was that? Bajaj Finance, okay. TCS, Polycab, okay. Marico, absolutely. Asian Paints, is it? Abhi aapne bola na Asian Paints. Maruti, okay. So whatever examples that we took right now, Nestle. So any examples that we discussed right now, can I say all these are pretty much well-known companies? Okay, simple question. Do I know what does the company do? If answer is yes, okay, fair enough. Then I can do the further analysis. It will not be a pain for me. I'll be like, oh, acha, ye bhi karti hai, wo bhi karti hai. You'll be more and more inquisitive. You'll do more and more analysis on your own. Is it simple? So if I want to take Tata Motors or someone said Maruti, are they competitors? What is the technical word we learned for that? Peer. Okay, Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki, they're competitors, they're peers. Someone said HUL, and someone said ITC, and someone said Nestle. Correct? All these are again kind of, it might not be 100% peer, but are surely in the category of peers. What is the product line? It is called as FMCG. FMCG? Fast moving consumer goods. Okay, FMCG is fast moving consumer goods, and for Tata Motors and Maruti it was automobiles. Someone said TCS, someone said Infosys. That is IT. Okay, so I hope you have understood this first point. Do I understand what does the company do, and do I believe that there is decent enough demand for that or not? Simple enough, yes. What was the second point? Future market or the sustainable demand. Now you have to stick to your company. Now don't change the company. Now do you believe that whatever company you have chosen, does it have a future market? Does it have a future demand? And if you feel yes, you can't say, yes. Yes. Why? Now I feel yes. You should try and figure out what could be one reason. I'm not asking about 10 reasons. One reason why you believe there is future market for the company that you choose. I'll again wait for 1 minute. Think and write down. Done? We'll go in a similar sequence. Tata Motors. Increase in population, okay. And someone said about Maruti. Why? Now he's talking about new models and EVs also. If they are entering into EV space, electric vehicle space, can that also be a big positive? Yes. So population, then new models and EV space. All three possibilities are there for future demand. Now coming to all the FMCG lot, who said ITC or Nestle or HUL or what? 135 crore देशवासियों. We have such an amazing population, that is the biggest asset. FMCG can't die in India. It's impossible. So is there going to be sustainable recurring demand, and it's going to just go on increasing, never it will decrease. Okay, so that is the biggest future point for any FMCG that we're talking about. These are household brands. So whenever I had told about this activity in basics of stock market class also. Whenever you get up, from that time till you sleep, what all products do you use? And then try to list down all these products and see which company is making that. And you will only understand, oh, majority products I'm using of latest HUL, or majority products I'm using of Nestle, whatever is the case. So if you feel you are contributing to the revenue of the company, why not become owner of the company? You know, my husband always has that habit. Whenever he buys any shares, and if I have to buy any soap, he'll say, don't buy this soap, buy that soap. Why? I'm the owner of that company. I want to contribute to the top line. I want to contribute to the revenue of that company. So if the product is not going to make a huge difference, this soap or that soap, what is the difference? Shah Rukh Khan advertises for this and Catherine advertises for that. That is the only difference I know. Then, I mean, what else? How else do we bifurcate any soap? Does anyone check the value of any chemical in that or what? Impossible. No one does that. So at least maybe the fragrance. But again, these days, same fragrance will get in almost every type. Jasmine fragrance everywhere. Everywhere will get it. So then at least try to see which company is making that and try to buy the product of that company, which you have bought the shares for, right? So the Tata Infrastructure is what you have taken as your company. HUL. And then you have shifted to infrastructure. You can be a politician. Okay. So anyone has chosen infrastructure by the way? Any infrastructure company? Anyone? Not a single one. You took L&T also. You've taken multiple options. Okay. So if I go ahead with the L&T thing, can I say infrastructure is something which will have a huge demand in our country? Yes, government is very bullish on infrastructure. Government is saying we have to have a lot of highways built in the country, roads should be good, metro should be there, railways should be there, good and bigger airports we should have. So will that have a good future demand for the infra space as well? Yes. What about IT? Some people have chosen. How many of you have chosen IT? One. Only one. TCS. What about IT? Digital technology. Everything is going digital these days. If you have heard about Web 3.2 concept, we have just heard about it. We are not really sure whether that is going to happen or not. It is happening, I know that. But how successful it will be? People do talk about a lot. Even I have done a decent enough study on Web 3.0, on metaverse, on all these crypto spaces. But then the big question is this just a craze? Or is this here to sustain? There are both sided arguments for that. But even if it is a craze, it will not die off in 1 year. It will be tested for another 3, 4, 5 years easily. So can I say everything is going digital? This one will also go digital and they'll have very nice future. Agreed? Yes? Any other sector, if anyone else has chosen? Airtel. My favorite. One of my favorites. Why do you think Airtel has future demand? We have no other option. We have to use phones. We have to use, even if maybe in the future phones go away, some SIM card will not go away. There has to be some chip, basically, which will be used for communication. Instead of handsets, maybe we might have a earphone, we might have a watch. Whatever it is, the device might change, but the internal chip will have to be there. The card will have to be there. And plus population. Plus technology. Can I say with all these things, a telecom company like Airtel also has a great future, right? Just one last maybe and then we move on to the next point. CAMS. I'll take that as the last one. CAMS. Achha, first point we have not discussed for CAMS. So if you can tell what does CAMS do? It's okay if it is not exact. Whatever you understand. Can I say back-end work for all the mutual fund related transactions? Not all, but I can say a lot, majority. They are almost near monopoly business. Okay, fintech, yes. So again, coming back to the old example, right? So if I'm talking about CAMS, so whenever you are buying any mutual fund, whenever you are selling any mutual fund, someone will be doing accounting, right? Who is buying, who is selling? Someone will be ensuring that whether mutual fund units have been transferred from A to B, whether that person has actually received or not. This back-end work is done by CAMS. Of CAMS. CAMS is a company. Computer and kya? Computer management services. Oh. So very important point. Okay. If you are doubtful about a company, just type out the name of the company space bar Rachana and you should get it. Okay. The CAMS analysis also wherever we have done with the peer analysis. I remember one very nice animation there to show how powerful CAMS is as compared to competitors. So I done CAMS is like a bodybuilder, and its competitor was like a baby, and it was crying that why my competitor is so strong. That is how I put it. CAMS versus its competitors. It has that kind of market share. Okay. So yes. Totally. I have done one video on that as well. So if you have heard about IEX, IEX is Indian Energy Exchange. How many of you have seen my video on IEX? Nice. The pre-bumper. If you have seen, my eyes are blue. Full VFX. I was sister of Thor. I was thoroughly. So IEX is basically an exchange, like we have a stock exchange, we also have an energy exchange. Okay, and in that video again you will understand anything and everything you need to know about IEX. Can I say that will also have a very, very bright future? Why not? I think future point has been taken care of. बस आगे के examples खत्म नहीं होंगे. Third one is moat or competitive advantage. Right on moat or competitive advantage. And you can write for your own companies, moat or competitive advantage. Done? Who wants to answer? Okay. Absolutely. Maruti for affordability and the availability of spare parts. So I can compare Maruti with MG Hector. I'll tell you why. When I was planning to buy a car and I had heard about MG Hector and something like very digital car and all that. But then one of my friends who owns MG Hector, he told me that he had gone out for a trip and was in one of the tier 3 cities. And he said his car broke down for some reason. That's okay, happens with any and every car. He said no spare parts. The mechanic out there, he said we understand how to repair Maruti. We don't know how to repair MG Hector car. Not sure about that. So can I say that reach and that availability of spare parts, that is also a very big moat. Very nice. Any other example? Yes. Achha, one Pidilite is by the way Fevicol, everyone knows. Fevicol is the main product of Pidilite, one of the main products of Pidilite. Correct. Absolutely. So by the way, he also used one more jargon here. Tina not from kuch hota hai. Tina is there is no alternative. Tina, there is no alternative. These are all sorts of jargons. Big people use only jargons. Okay, so there is no alternative. So can I say this is nothing but product being substituted with the company name? Do we say please give me one adhesive? Say give me Fevicol. Can I say that is the biggest moat that Pidilite has? Absolutely yes. Okay. One last example if anyone wants to share. Yes. Company that you have chosen. Balkrishna tires. Okay. क्या बात है? Very nice. In Russia also. Okay. Has that stock gotten a little bit impacted right now because of Russia-Ukraine war? It is correct. Yeah, of course. I mean, again, now you understand external analysis. Now he said Balkrishna tires has a moat, and they are selling specialized tires, and main market Europe and Russia. Now that is an amazing moat, but then problem geopolitical factor. Because of the war, will it impact? We can export, but right now the demand itself might have dropped there. Are you with me? Yes. So I hope enough examples we are taking for future and demand as well. Can we move on to the fourth point? Fourth point is what? Competitors. Done? Who can tell me for competitors? Anyone who has not spoken till now? Asian Paints, Berger Paints. Okay. And now, right now, the focus is just understanding whether there are certain peers or not. If your answer is no, can I say that can also be a very big moat? Near monopoly. Okay. Anyone else? Prince Pipes for Astral Pipes. Very nice. IX, no competitor. 100% monopoly. IRCTC, they were again one of the favorites of retails. Correct? Big drama that happened in between for IRCTC. But then again, the fact still remains monopoly. Okay? For HUL, it could be ITC or it could be Nestle as well. Yes? Anyone else? Havels and Polycab, very nice. They're into cables and wires. Okay? Havels. Huh? KEI Industries also, absolutely. Very nice. So Polycab, KEI Industries and Havels all are into cables and wires. Okay? So, yes, in my Polycab video only, I'd given a small distinction between what is a cable and a wire. Again, understanding the product. We are not engineers, majority of us. How many of you are engineers, by the way? Many people are engineers, not bad. Tell me the difference between cables and wire. Okay, cable. What was that? You know only zeros and ones, okay. So cables are basically, cables include bundles of wires and they're very thick. If you've seen on the road, a huge circle you can see like a tire and it has wires wrapped around it. That's called as a cable, which will be laid beneath the road. That is a cable. What every single time you might see this, na? First there'll be a nice road, and then digging, then lay one cable, then again nice road, again same, repeat demand. Economy. Everything is happening for the economy. No interest of the politicians, right? So we're creating demand for roads and everything, right? So what is laid beneath the road? Is it a cable, a thick cable, or is it a thin wire? It's a thick cable. Inside our house, we have wires. Okay, so whenever I'm talking about infrastructure sector, it will be more demand for cables. And we're talking about housing as a sector, it will be wires. Is this understood? Yes. So KEI, Polycab, Havels, all these are into both cables as well as wires. So I hope that point is also clear about competitors. What is the last point? Tell me. Last point is about management. Now, for management, to be honest, it's very difficult to find out how the management is. Is it really competitive or not? I'm not sure. Yes, have I given any point for management analysis? No, wait, no worries. So I'll tell you, if you want to do a management analysis, because right now if I tell you do management analysis, I'm not sure how many of you will be able to do that. Okay, for management analysis, it's a little bit tricky. And to be honest, it is not so easy also. Okay, I can give you examples which have happened in the past. Simple and classic example is Mukesh Ambani versus Anil Ambani. Both brothers, both have gotten almost equal wealth and companies in terms of net assets and turnover and everything. Everyone knows where is Mukesh Ambani today, and everyone knows where is Anil Ambani today. Can I say that is a classic example of management? Yes, how to manage business is not a joke. Understanding the market, strategizing accordingly, planning it and performing it in that way. It's very difficult. And Mr. Anil Ambani was not able to do that very well. And very well it has been done by Mr. Mukesh Ambani, right? Another example where management could fail because of dishonesty. Satyam case. 2008, Satyam Computers case. Wherein they had goofed up with the financial statements. They had shown fake revenue, which was never there. Okay, but I'll tell you to be, I can tell you 10 parameters, check this, check that. But to be really honest, it's very difficult to analyze the management. Why? Do we have an access to the management directly? How do I know whether that person is honest or not? It's good on paper. I was thinking about dropping this point also. But then you read any book of fundamental analysis, this point will be there. So I'm putting you the point as well and I'm telling you the reality also. You'll get to know whether management was honest or dishonest after the fraud happens. Crompton Greaves, not heard about the fraud or anything if it happened. Okay. Very amazing example. Hero Motocorp recently, there was a big news which came up. They had shown fake bills. And before that news, everyone was like, Hero Motocorp. Amazing. And this is hardly 1 month ago news. Huge amount, almost 1,000 crores. Was it possible for any person to know about that? Impossible. How? Otherwise, Hero Motocorp is a very renowned name. So difficult to get to know about it. If I talk about big names from big banks, ICICI Bank. Everyone knows the name, Chanda Kochar. Before the news came out, everyone was like, ICICI Bank, Chanda Kochar. And then a news comes up. Latest NSE scam. National Stock Exchange. Everyone, National Stock Exchange is known for transparency. And then we get to know that Himalayan Baba is actually doing something. And one of the findings was that to some institutional traders, some institutional desks, they were getting the rates a microsecond earlier as compared to us. They could have easily benefited from that. So, if I were to tell you about the management point, I can very well tell you Google, find on LinkedIn, follow the management, is that all these are bookish points. We will only come to know about the management after something has happened. But in Marathi, like we say, ekda jeep bajli ki tapan kunkun becha asta. It's as good as ek baar kharab experience aata hai. Once you have a bad experience, next time don't bet on the same management. That is the least thing that we can do. If you have gotten to know about XYZ company is into bad practices, next time as a retail individual, what is there in my hand? What is my choice? To avoid that stock or not. That is what I follow. If a specific management, something like Vedanta, that person was going to delist that stock at 80 or 90 rupees. And such a huge pressure was being built up. Give all your shares, offer your shares for delisting. People had bought it at 200 rupees, 300 rupees. LIC was the biggest holder of that stock. LIC had bought at an average price of some 320 or 325 something. And at what price they were offering for buyback? Buyback or delisting they were offering it at 80 or 90 rupees. 88. I remember basics of stock market class. Exact figure. 88. Don't say 80 or 90. 88. Okay. But now this is the importance of basics of stock market class, by the way. Now you know what is the buyback. Company buying back its own shares. So now you can imagine people have bought it at 300 and company saying they're buying it at 80. And once you buy back, you're going to delist the company. Can I show that shows what is the intention of the management? Are they working for the benefit of shareholders? If there would not have been a big institutional buyer, this management would have easily succeeded. Problem for Vedanta was one of the big institutional buyers was LIC who had bought it at around 320. They said we are not ready only. Not for delisting, certain resolutions have to be passed. And shareholders have to agree for that. LIC said we don't agree at 80, we don't agree at 90. हमारे कौन सुनेगा? LIC का सुनना पड़ेगा. LIC is a big player, right? And believe it or not, once this was cancelled, the stock rallied from 80 rupees. I don't know the exact market price today. 425. Now you can imagine what that person could have done. Buy back at the company bought back at if it would have been successful. Buy it back at 80 and they know that it is worth much more. This shows the intention of the management. So when the stock was at 100 or 120, I saw so many business news channels giving a buy call for this same company. Easily people would have made profit in that. Even me and many of my friends, we were also of the opinion that this ideally will go up. But I said no. A management which doesn't have good intentions, I will not buy shares of that company. That is example of management analysis. Have you understood it? Is it difficult to analyze the management for the from these 2-3 examples. One is for Vedanta. Vedanta where buyback price was fixed at, delisting price, buyback price was fixed at 88. And current market price, 425. Okay, yes. One or two more quick examples if you want to write down. Satyam also we discussed. And Hero Motocorp we discussed. What are you saying? It has fallen quite a bit. I'm short on that, on the call of Hero Motocorp. Quite short here. This futures and options are by the way. Once that news came up, ideally, it should have gone down. And from that date, it has been in a bearish sideways. Like it has not fallen like zap down to a very low level, not like that. But continuously it is going in a sideways, bearish phase. Okay, so you can take calls based on that as well, but we are not here for futures and options. Okay, she had a point to make. Ashnir Grover, Bharat Pay. One more example. Can we check the current cases and litigations? We can, surely we can. And for that only I said, can we Google out? Yes, okay. One more point for cases and litigations. Whenever a company comes up with an IPO, there is a small document, hardly 300-400 pages only. Okay, in that, if there are any litigations against the promoters of the company, that section is specifically given. So now you'll be like, oh my god, in the RHP, Red Herring Prospectus, which is the main offer document. In the RHP, where will I find it? Control F. Control F, what will you do? Litigations, and you jump onto that section. Heranba, absolutely. Sham still have not checked the litigation, but Heranba in my video also I talked about the litigations. Okay, so litigations you can check in the prospectus also. Any other point anyone have to make for management? Correct? Correct. So he has given the example of IndusInd also, that management just said that we didn't know this happened, maybe some errors happened in the system. They try to cover it up basically. So once the management has said this, something happened in the system, we are not sure what happened, is that it means that they are not in a position to tell exactly what happened, they are just trying to cover it up in short. Okay, last example. So this is not about honesty. If he's talking about future plans, that will come up under the competence point, and we have a separate point for future plans also, right? So I hope we have taken enough examples. Okay. Wait. He had raised his hand first. Absolutely. Correct. Yeah. Yes. So what is he saying for Volkswagen that this had happened, that every automobile company is allowed some emission percentage. They call it as an emission norm. How much pollution can a car make? And if the car is making more pollution, then it is against the norm, correct? And what Volkswagen did, they said maybe one batch of cars, it was one or two batches of cars which happened from production line. They said all these cars are faulty. They took back the cars, they replaced them, and like I said, one of the key management person also stepped down. So will all these things happen with a fraudulent intention every time, or could there be a genuine error also? There could be a genuine error also. Okay, but again, problem, was it really a fraud or error? Very difficult for us to judge. Everything is good on books. Everything is good once it happens. Difficult to judge. Okay, one last doubt. Correct. Got it. So now he's saying a very valid point, that if I find that in a specific company there is a fraud, or something is not perfect, something is going wrong, should I try and avoid investing in that company or entire group company? Ideally, again, there is no correct answer for that. There is no yes or no for that. It's my opinion. I would avoid that company specifically. Okay, because at a group level, there might be a variety of companies, right? So I generally avoid that specific company rather than avoiding a group only. Okay, so with that, I believe we are done with qualitative analysis. How much pointer analysis did we do for qualitative analysis? 5 pointer. Very much you have understood a whole area of stuff. Yes. With that, let's go on to the myths, common myths around fundamental analysis. You want to break and then continue? Can't they play by it? Okay, so we'll take a break, and break के बाद we'll continue with the myths of fundamental analysis. Thank you.